waves are coming in. There is so much magnificence.
Hi, aloha. I'm Donna Bradley, and I am so glad that you found me. Thank you. You're an answered prayer. So I suspect that it's not an accident that we found one another just at this moment in history. So let me explain that I'm in the midst of creating a series of videos because it's my passionate intent, really, my heart's intent to remind you that you are a gift to the world. During this time of pandemic, when most of us are so isolated, it's even more important than ever that you remember that the very essence of you is so necessary. You may not feel that special, but it's like a puzzle. And even if it's just a little gray piece that's missing, the puzzle isn't whole until you get to add your piece. And I feel like I'm here to invite you, to call you, because it's time for us to do this together. Because you have, or you wouldn't be here, you have intelligence of mind and heart, so much heart. And you have your magic. And you have your caring that just won't give up. You just keep on trying. You keep on wanting, needing things to be different. Well, I'm in awe. So I believe that we're at a turning point, both individually and collectively, because we are experiencing a death of the old ways of believing and being. And we're allowing the birth of a whole new way of living. So maybe it would be helpful for you to know a little bit about how I became and am still becoming who I am today. So here we go. So even though I was born unable to move my muscles or breathe on my own, I had to be in an incubator, and I had to be fed through tubes because I couldn't swallow. And this continued for most of my life, on and off. And when I was young, even though I was too ill to go to school or work or even date, and even though I knew I couldn't birth children, I consider myself one of the luckiest people on the planet. Really. Because not being able to participate in public life created a situation where I didn't get indoctrinated. My closest companion was, and still is, God, or my soul. And I am so blessed that even though I was too weak to date or have a social life, and because of that, the man who was my caregiver, the man who drove me to my medical appointments and helped me learn to walk, this man became my beloved husband. And he had just returned from Vietnam, and he was pretty traumatized. When he got off the plane, he couldn't even say, "I love you." But I remembered who he was before he left for Vietnam. And I trusted that was the real man. And so he told me that he wanted to repair the world. He wanted to replace hate with love. I was so in awe of him. And so we got married. And we've been repairing the world, upgrading the world for 50 years now. This is our 50th anniversary this year. So we adopted, since I couldn't birth children, we adopted or took guardianship of 17 very, very special children. And they taught us who humans really are. They taught us what humans need, not just to survive, but to thrive. And the wisdom of these children for 22 years led me to teaching unconditional love. After they took flight, I had so much more love to give. And so I began to teach classes on unconditional love. And what else can I say? Who could ask for a better life? I am so very blessed. And I wonder, no, I assume that the hard things in your life were a blessing, leading you to become more and more of yourself. So recently, it was my 73rd birthday. I was telling my friends at my birthday circle that I felt guided to write and record and publish everything love had taught me. And I dreamed of spending several years, maybe even the rest of my life, carefully creating perfect books and recordings. But there was a block that I couldn't understand. My students, who are my best friends, formed a team to help me publish this legacy. But every time we got together, we'd run into a block, and we couldn't figure out why. But then suddenly, I understood. Because life as we had known it just collapsed out from under us. A worldwide virus. And you know what? Just as suddenly, my urge for perfection just disappeared. And new guidance came rushing in very clearly. And I'll quote to you because I wouldn't have believed it, it's myself. It said, don't wait for perfection. Give love now. Create your own YouTube channel, which was the funniest idea possible. I had no computer skills. It said, you don't need to know how. Just sit down in front of your phone, which is your camera, and just start talking now. So here I am, quarantined, like you are probably. And I'm creating a YouTube channel with absolutely no experience or skill. And often I'm filming myself. This could not be more unprofessional. I was guided to reach out, trusting that we would find each other. And we did. Thank you for being here. I'm going to tell you one short story, which is that at the beginning of the first Gulf War, I was so upset. Before that, there had been a bit of innocence, but I was so upset. Not that people were having wars, because that's what humans do at this stage. But for some reason, I was very upset about the lies. And so I went running into my apple orchard. And I said to God, please tell me what I can do. And the answer came through so immediately, not out loud. I'm just good at listening. And it said, you can be living proof that there's a different way to live. And so now I'm inviting you to be living proof with me that there's a different way to live. The universe hasn't bothered to crush our entire reality just out of boredom. This collapse has happened because there was no other way to get our full attention, to prod us, prompt us, push us, to let our lives change. And I don't feel afraid. Of course I feel sorry. I feel compassion for the death, for the loss, for the fear. But I don't believe any of us are victims. I believe that we all came here at this time to make a statement. I believe that there were to be other people like me, that we would find each other. And we did. And so if we need to send this to others, to connect to others, because there are more people, more and more and more people who want to change the world with us, please send this to them so that they can fall safely into our arms. Because aren't we the luckiest people ever? I am so excited. I'm so grateful. I like that I don't have to do this perfectly. I like that the only thing that's important is that we give this love to the world right now. And the ability to do that when old ideas are being crushed, that we can offer new ways of living. I am more than grateful to do that with you, because we are the luckiest people ever. People who don't understand that there's a purpose here. People who think that God has just disappeared or given up. People who believe that they are totally alone. It must be really, really terrifying for them. But we have a sense of purpose. We have a sense of being used by love. And there's nothing, I promise you, there is nothing that feels as good as being used by love. Thank you. Blessings. Namaste.
There is only